Welcome to the 2015 Fall Sports Video. I'm Mr. Matt Notling. I serve as the St. Mark's School Athletic Director. A couple things before we get into our meeting itself. We're doing this video instead of a meeting at school to allow for flexibility with the families. You can watch this when needed at your own convenience instead of having to come in for a scheduled meeting at school. Any parent who has a child participating in any kind of fall sports must watch this video. And finally, after you've completed watching this video, there is a sheet that you'll need to sign and return to me, acknowledging that you did watch this video. It was handed out to you at registration. It was a bright orange sheet. There's also one attached to the email that gave you this link to this video that you can print and sign as well. That needs to be turned in before the student is able to practice. I'd like to open today taking a look at our school theme from 2 Corinthians chapter 5. It says, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come. We have an awesome opportunity as Christians to show our God-given abilities in athletics. One thing that we strive to do as Christians is to show that new self, and that is something that we will stress not only with the students in the classroom, but on the athletic fields, that new self is shown in our thoughts, words, and actions, that we show and live our faith out there. You'll notice during this entire presentation, it's going to be at the bottom of the screen there. It has that reminder to us that we are living our new life only because of what Christ has done for us. Our athletic philosophy. A-team, the emphasis is on winning. Not all athletes will get in, but we're giving the effort to get them in. This is especially going to be difficult this year at the A volleyball level. Currently, we have 17 girls signed up with only 6 being able to play on the floor at a time. Including the subbing rules of volleyball, this makes it extremely difficult. Therefore, patience needs to be given by athletes and parents in this difficult situation. I'll talk more later about why we are unable to do an A2 team this year. Secondly, with the B team, we notice that all athletes will get in and have nearly equal playing time. We will not be tracking serves or anything like that to see. We want to note the exception, though, that during tournaments, the emphasis is on winning. Not all athletes will get in, but we are going to give full effort to do that. We trust our coaches that they will make good decisions. Couple policies that we need to review. First and foremost, it comes with school practices and games, and they come first before any other outside sports engagement in a traveling league or something else like that. If there's a conflict, we ask the family to choose one or the other, not both. That way, we do not have a student missing games on our end or the other end. We are looking to teach responsibility. This especially helps coaches, teammates, and the student itself be able to perform better at one or the other. If a student does skip a game or a practice for a team outside of St. Mark's, they will be removed from the team immediately, as is outlined in our athletic handbook. For uniforms, soccer this year will receive a new set of uniform tops. They are dry fit material, so it's extremely important that you do not put them through the dryer. That is also true of the volleyball uniforms, which are also dry fit material. Please hang dry them, and for all uniforms, wash them regularly. If you notice a tear or something in that, do not try to repair it yourself. I appreciate your willingness to help, but please have it returned to me, and I'll get it taken care of. Reminder to soccer players that you must have a pair of black or nearly all black shorts for your games. In regards to cell phones, they should never be out in locker rooms at St. Mark's or other places. This is in accordance with state law. Please have them off and away. The same thing is true for away games and games at home. They do not need to be out in the stands. Please keep them away so that you can cheer on your teammates that are playing in the game. Forms and fees must be in before a child is able to participate. You can see the forms that are listed there. Please make sure that those are all in time. With fee structures changing this year, those will be taken and handled by the school office. Any questions on that can be handled through the school office. The first day of practices, the coaches will be sending home a letter. In that letter, we'll have expectations, contact information, and other things that the coaches want you to know. Make sure that you are looking for that note. There is also a chance for you to look up things on our athletic website, which will be kept up to date as best as possible. You can see it listed there, and it's always at the bottom in my email signature. Finally, most information that will need to get out to you will come through that email address. You see enough of them in the past. Please make sure that you're checking those fairly regularly, especially when you know that there is a tournament coming soon. St. Mark's is subscribed to using One Call Now. We will be using that this year for text message alerts as well as voice message alerts. So in the event a practice would be canceled or something has changed, there is a good chance that you will receive a message from One Call. Everyone is automatically enrolled in the voice messaging. However, you need to opt in to receive the text message. You can see the steps listed there. It's also listed in the email that I sent out to you. Please, if you do want that, make sure to register. If you think you registered last year but are not sure, I'm asking everyone to double check and re-register. That way we're all good to go. Volunteering is an extreme importance when it comes to our programs at St. Mark's, both athletics and in other things. It's important that all volunteers are trained. If you attended a registration meeting, at the end of the meeting, there was a volunteer training session held by Mr. Utek. It's also necessary that you fill out the paperwork to go along with it, and that's returned to the school office. If you are unsure if you are properly trained, please contact the school office to make arrangements. We will again be using Volunteer Spot to sign up for our different events. Included in the email at the beginning with fall sports will also be a link to the site to sign up for sports. It's a reminder that parents are asked to volunteer 3 one-hour time slots per child participating in an event to help with that sports season. It's important to note that these help keep our fees low. Opportunities for volunteering in the course of soccer. Since soccer is primarily tournaments and so on, there's limited volunteering opportunities. Best case, what you can do is when you do get to tournaments and there may be some things that you could help with, feel free to ask the coaches. There may be things for you to be able to do, such as be a ball runner on the sidelines. Volleyball, there is much more opportunity. For our regular home games, we must supply line judges, scorebook, and scoreboard for each one, and that includes 2 line judges per game. All of these things I'm willing to train people on if you are willing to learn. In regards to the scorebook, we do not keep it totally official like you would see at a high school type game. It's more used for tracking points. For our tournaments, which are held on September 18th and 19th, these are our 2 major events athletically in the fall. And as you can see there, we need roughly 125 volunteer hours filled to fully staff the 2 days worth of tournaments. We've been doing these for many years with great positive response, with many schools returning year after year after year. We'd like to keep that same tradition going this school year. Problem solving. Head coach comes first. So, for instance, let's say there is a question about playing time. That should be taken to the head coach first and not me. And please note the idea of the 24-hour guide. Let's say that you're upset about how something was handled during a game. Do not approach the coach after the game, even half hour after the game. Wait until the following day so both you and the coach have the opportunity to clear your heads, calm down from it, and have good communication. Please note also that an email and text may be quick, but it's not always the best thing to do. The best way to do these conversations is to do them face-to-face by asking to talk to the coaches. I am asking the parents that first day of practices, please come in and greet the coaches since we are not doing this meeting face-to-face. Coming into practice at the very beginning or at the very end to say hi to the coach goes a long way to establish a good line of communication for the course of the year. One thing that I also want to stress, and will stress also to coaches, is the use of social media. Be careful about what you would post on Facebook, Twitter, or any other things. We want it to be a positive experience for all. Do not use that as a platform to communicate with the coaches about a problem. Again, face-to-face is going to be your best way to do that. If for some reason that it cannot be resolved after talking to the head coach face-to-face, the next time through would have me helping along with that discussion. If that still cannot work, then Mr. Utek will be brought in, and finally, if necessary, it will go to the Board of School Ministry. Our coaching staff for this fall, you can see as listed there. We thank these individuals for their willingness to serve. A reminder that all coaches that we have are approved both by our pastors as well as our Board of School Ministry. It is important to note that we are still looking for 2 cross-country coaches. In the event that we cannot secure 2 coaches, we would be unable to have cross-country. Since we do have some girls signed up for it, we must have at least 1 female coach. Our teams, as you can see, are made up of this way. Again, cross country, if we do not secure coaches, we will be unable to have it. Soccer, you can see listed there. That will be for all boys and girls in grades 5 through 8. And finally, volleyball, you can see there. We will not be having an A2 volleyball team this year. It's important to note here in a second. First of all, to the practice schedule. Soccer, again, the reminder, it's at Milford Street. Construction has been going on there. We'll have to see how it goes once practices start going. The reminder would be to bring water to practice. A couple things to note with the soccer schedule. Again, with the conflicts that we have working on, the Juneau Quad has tentatively been moved to October 2nd. That is a change. We also have our forensics meet that night. We're trying to see if we are able to do both. In regards to volleyball, I'm working on finalizing things on October 7th. St. John's Jefferson does not have a B team. St. John's Watertown, we are also trying to arrange a game that day. I'm still working on final details. Here is the note about an A2 team for volleyball. Yes, we have 17 girls, but we are unable to have an A2 team because nobody else does. So we would be unable to fill a proper game schedule for them at all. So what I'm going to try to do to alleviate some of that stress on the coaches as well as the players for playing time. All 7th graders will be playing in the tournament that St. Mark's hosts on September 18th. I will also be checking into submitting 2 teams for any tournaments that our girls are attending. This will not be possible, though, for the Black tournament at Lakeside since that is a single team entry only. B team, there is the possibility we will split into 2 teams for the September 19th tournament. We will let you know when we get closer to that and we have final numbers for our volleyball team. Finally, to close things up here, if you have any questions, comments, please contact me by email or set up a time to come meet and talk with me. A reminder that the video form must be signed and returned to me before the student can participate. We ask the Lord richest blessings on our fall sports. We pray that all things go well, everyone is kept healthy, and it is an enjoyable season for all. Thank you for your time.